Hey people, welcome to the Sanity Damage podcast. I'm your host for today, Nero, and I'm joined today by
Slav, local Slav.
And Dark Hermit, your Bulgarian thug.
Yes.
And I guess I'm from Germany. And in this podcast we'll be discussing gaming, tabletop as well as the video kind, and all other kinds of pop culture.
Yes. So, just fair warning, we tend to jump from topic to topic in our discussions a lot. So at one moment we can discuss D&D, second we can discuss video game, third is like a movie or something.
I think you're supposed to like hype people up, not like warn people about listening to us.
Oh, they should know what they're getting into.
No.
No?
No. You have to advertise. Like say something interesting, for example.
Something interesting, for example.
No.
Yes. You'll get a lot of sanity damage listening to us.
Yes.
Is it enough?
I guess we can work on that. Okay, so our first topic for today is what is your favorite TTRPG? For all non role-playing kinds of people, that's a tabletop role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons, one with the paper and pens.
Yeah, and that very rare thing nowadays called imagination. And creativity.
I mean, we sure as fuck aren't speaking from experience because we like all of those things. If you've played any of our campaigns.
Oh, yes. So, let's put it into perspective. All of us, like, we know each other by playing different kind of tabletop RPGs for like how much?
Almost
2 years?
2 years, I think, yeah.
Around 2 years. So we start our like introductory campaign for like was Fate System.
Fate Accelerated, yes.
Yes, Fate Accelerated. And then it kind of derailed.
Didn't it used to be another system even at the start?
No, it was Fate Accelerated.
At least not before I joined you. Maybe you were playing something else before I joined, but initially...
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, so afterwards, with my help mostly, our group tried different systems. Not from just my help, I think. Nero, you two suggested several?
Yeah, a few.
We even helped him work on his.
Oh yeah, and just I tried to like make my own at some point.
Yeah, and I think all of us contributed to different kind of different systems that we tried eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So back to the topic of discussion. What is your favorite kind of role-playing game?
Interesting question. I can't say that I have the one that I like the most.
All right. So what's your top 3?
Top 3. I'd say in no particular order, probably Call of Cthulhu.
As expected.
Huh? Yeah.
Yes. Interesting. I'd say World of Darkness or Vampire the Masquerade, or like as a whole, like World of Darkness setting in general, because they follow similar like rules. And let me be Mr. Boring here, D&D.
Yeah, I think D&D is in my top 3 too, I think.
Yeah. I would go against the grain, and I would say on my first place, because it's a system I grew up with, is Pathfinder.
I guess Pathfinder is basically D&D.
It's D&D 3.5.
With more choices. It's D&D with more choices.
Yeah. The crunchy D&D.
Yes, very crunchy. Then I would say for second place, Stars Without Numbers.
You like it that much?
Expected. Yeah, I like it. I've played a few campaigns over the years. A lot of fun. And then for my third place, I don't know. I would say vampire, but I think that I'm enjoying it more because I'm playing it with people I know, kind of, than like with strangers.
And
So that might be coloring my opinions on it, but so far I like vampire.
yeah, and I just we are not playing it the way it is meant to be played. So that's
Yeah, that's a good point. We are just playing a very overpowered campaign.
We are basically being the Terminators, right?
Well, but it's the fun in playing tabletop RPGs. You can just bend the rules as you like.
Yeah.
Although some would say that it's no. You have the book and you follow it to a letter.
And those people are boring.
Purists and gatekeepers should go fuck themselves.
Yeah. So Nero, please bleep that out.
No. You're going to live with your choices of inciting some of the audience.
People like it, Ross. Fuck.
Well, Nero, what about you?
Yeah, actually, I would say D&D is actually also like I said, my top 3, I think. I think it's very easy to get into, and people have been doing a lot with it, which is partly why it's so fun, because there's just so much to choose from. And
for D&D, there's so much like player-made content that's just outstanding. Like total conversions, extra classes, like pretty much everything.
And also the thing is, everybody, like most people know D&D. It's not like GURPS where you have like first like teach people like 3 books before you can even start playing. And D&D has the huge advantage that you can just put a campaign on a table, tell people make this character, and then just start. And you have probably like, you can have a module, you can have like pre-prepared characters, and it's all very easy. And you usually don't even have to worry about balance, because the classes are, I think, pretty balanced in D&D. Like,
everything's pretty balanced.
I mean, there are stuff like the Ranger who used to be very shit, but they like improved it later.
Yeah.
And Monk is a bit underpowered, I think. And
as long as you're not playing a druid or something from what was it? The Unearthed Arcana.
Yes, Unearthed Arcana is full of unbalanced stuff.
Yes, it's old test stuff, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, even new stuff, there's some stuff that's very unbalanced.
I mean, let's talk about the most default class of all, wizards.
I thought you were going to say fighter.
Yeah, like no, like what? It's like Wizards of the Coast. They're like literally in the name of the company.
That's it's I think it's their favorite class. Yeah.
And it's initially it's not that powerful, but like the game was made like with the idea in mind that you can solve any problem with magic.
Yeah, and and also, Wizards get Fireball, and it's just an overpowered spell in general.
Yeah, the meme of use Fireball is a meme for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I've been that wizard. All of his spell slots are Fireball.
I think they even said it's like OP for a reason, like they don't want to nerf it because it's such a staple.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You get Fireball at such a level where you're still very fragile. Okay, puppy, stop. You're still very fragile, and as a wizard, you just are always fragile. You can't wear armor. You can't have like a lot of stuff, so you're always fragile. So having something like a Fireball or like power word kill or stuff like that is just a reward for sticking with it, you know.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, it's like reward part is very important because I haven't played much for like 2nd edition, although I tried like several times. And we've played. I run like we've both played. All of us played Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's basically 2nd edition.
I would say even Dungeon Crawl Classic. I'm not sure if I would put it in my top 3, but it's a lot of fun to play.
We haven't played it that much, though. We've only played, I think, 2 or 3 sessions of it.
Yeah, like
So it's crunchy, though. I like that. I like the crunch.
It's not
If
even. I
you're-
wouldn't say
if you
there's
can-
like that much crunch. At least not at the start. You have like you get like your bunch of peasants, and
yes,
then whoever
it's
survives
very
gets a bit of crunch.
it's very deadly, like initially, because you have like
Yes, the meat grinder.
yes,
I barely had like 1% survival of my character creation.
yeah. So it's
So I would say Fate is actually, I would say, my top 3. Because I think it's very but it depends heavily on the group you play it with. So it's more like it's less of a game and more like a rule system for role playing.
I thought it's because you hate numbers higher than 10.
well, okay.
Well,
Fight is fun. Fun.
I think I actually agree with Hermit and say like I think I tend towards rules-light systems. But I don't get me wrong, I like stuff like GURPS and like Pathfinder, but I think I like rules-light systems better a little bit.
Yeah, I think the thing comes from our different preferences. I prefer a lot crunchier system. Like, give me a thick, like 1,000-page, 2,000-page book, and I'm gonna be happy. But give me something like a Fate, and I'm gonna be like, I don't actually like this.
Well, Fate is a good point of like Fate Accelerated, or like any version of it. It's you can play whatever you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You want sci-fi, you can do that. You want a fantasy game, you can do that. You want like modern like fantasy set in New York or like Moscow, whatever. You can do that.
Yeah, but the thing with GURPS and it's a problem you get with GURPS and like a lot of like rules wide system is after a while it all feels the same.
I mean, GURPS is like a rules heavy system, I would say.
Yeah, but it's still like it happens even with GURPS. It's because you have such freedom to create your character. After a while, it just all feels the same, like an amorphous mess of stuff.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that fun comes more from the role playing than from like the playing, from the dice rolling.
Yeah, but I still like cross individuality and differences in my gameplay. You know.
Mm-hmm. There should be actual gameplay, you say. But I don't think I don't see. Yeah, I think it depends heavily on the group. Some people don't even like their characters dying. I heard some people like online to say they quit their game because their character died.
I know people that I know people that like they enjoy role playing just a lot. We had like just long sessions, like just our characters just interacting with each other, like with NPCs. But when I suggest, okay, I can run like Call of Cthulhu game for you guys, like no, I don't do one shots. I want like a campaign with character development.
Narrative, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, damn
it. Yeah, we both. The thing is, one shots and one campaigns both have their
ups and
relative
downs.
ups and downs. Yeah. Like the way I did my 3-year long Kingmaker campaign is I had it basically set in modules, so we can play like whatever people want for like a month straight. Like that's 4 sessions for us, and then they can play something else they want. So it's whatever.
And like most people, I think, do it like this. It's how do I put it? The best example would probably be if you like TV series or like a movie saga. Like for example, like many people think like when you say like campaign is something like Lord of the Rings, where it's like a giant book with like full of like adventure, like plots, fights, and so on. But in many cases, it's more like Star Trek, where it's like every episode is like separate small adventure.
Often,
yeah. like overall, like the prevailing narrative with this group we have here is we do it more like a TV show than an actual movie.
Yeah. I think a lot of people get a wrong idea if they never played the game themselves. If they just watch stuff like Critical Role or the recently disgraced Arcanum. It's like...
Roll for It, stuff like that. I think Roll for It has like the biggest, they're the most accurate when it comes to like play and how games are played, because they're basically like us. If you ask me, at least, because like how can I even explain it? I don't know. But I think they're like the closest you get to actual people playing like normal games.
Yeah, like
I think it's a draw. Yeah, you go first.
Like I enjoy watching like Critical Role greatly, but
not everyone's David Hayter.
Yeah, not everyone is like is a voice actor with acting talent who can actually like not everyone can be Matt Mercer, and you shouldn't even try to be him, to be honest.
Like, also, I feel like a lot of don't want to say a lot of it scripted, but a lot of it feels like very prepared.
It's very prepared, yeah. Like campaigns like that are very prepared.
I mean, like actual like players, I don't think that they aware what's going to happen, but like all the like stuff is done. Maybe something is like on the spot, or role playing or something like that. But in many cases, is it prepared before, like at least Mercer prepares definitely.
Yeah,
before.
the thing is, they started their new campaign recently.
Yeah, I watched it.
The most glaring in that campaign that it's like they've prepared it for months now, and you can tell that like everything's like ironed out and everything's like there for a reason, and you can tell when something is prepared and something is spontaneous. And it's the same with their players, like they're very prepared for everything, and they probably follow like, if not a script, then some sort of like role-playing bible.
I think maybe it's like you tell the voice actors beforehand, like you're going to have your moment today or something, like prepare for that.
Yeah.
Or we are going to discuss this part of the story today.
I mean, it was literally the first session, literally the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like classify it not like a first session, more like session 0 even, because like if you play session 0, like like you're going to meet other characters, like you're going to like you get some plot hooks, like you just know it just like as you start because you start the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and because they wanted,
you're going to need time to see how it plays out.
Yeah, but I watched I watched it a part of it on Twitch as they were playing, and I finished it completely afterwards on YouTube.
You're a fan, you would say?
Okay, I haven't watched all of the previous campaigns, but seeing that they started a new one, I'm definitely gonna follow it.
Yeah,
I think I just watched the second campaign.
I've watched their second campaign from beginning to end, and I've listened to it on stuff like Spotify and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually prefer Roll for It because they're just more like real. That's it, because they're just folk. Yeah, they're just more real when they role play, when they do stuff, because they aren't for the most part professional voice actors.
Yeah, I also think I have to say, when it comes to stuff like heavily produced stuff like Critical Role, I feel like some of the funds for the players get lost in sake of making it more fun for the audience. Yeah. Like I sometimes see that Critical Role, sometimes a player doesn't say anything for like a whole session, like very little, while one character has their moment. And I feel like in actual game, I think that's a bit boring for the other players. But in like a show, of course, it's like better because this is like their character arc, and people are interested in this right
the
now.
thing is, they're following a narrative, and they're like basically cutting their fun for the sake of the narrative, which Roll for It kind of doesn't do. They did a few times in like the very heavily like story focused campaign, but not really in their other campaigns. Like their Shadowrun campaigns are fucking insane, and I love them.
Oh yeah, Shadowrun. That has to be in my top 3. I think for the world, not for the gameplay. I think it's my favorite world, like cyberpunk with magic. But the system, let's just say it's a bit shite. It's a bit
They tried to fix it in the newest installment.
It's got even worse. Shadowrun, like I think 6th edition or something, is like the app is absolute dog shit. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
Yeah,
like not even like I know like I think 5 is the one everybody plays. I think yeah. Look, if you're going to play Shadowrun, play 5th edition.
Yeah.
Even with all the problems, yeah. And if there's like a rule that is like too complicated, like fucking grenades or something, just ignore it. Just do a skill check. Just homebrew it. It's okay.
Look, Chunky Salsa isn't that complicated. You just throw a grenade, and they multiply the damage by the number of walls near it.
Yeah, great, fucking great. So the problem with Shadowrun is like the same problem as with GURPS. If there's a rule for every single situation, you end up with too many rules that you all have to remember. Yeah. And even if you remember all of them, like the time you need to just look them up in game is just time that's not spent on having fun.
It's chunky in the wrong way, I think, because it has obtuse and innate rules for stuff like reloading a weapon and using a medkit.
Yeah.
Like, in order to use a medkit, you have to use a specific type of medkit supplies. But if you use another type of medkit supplies, you get other effects. And that's like, okay, but why have it as a rule? Why just not have separate items?
It's the same thing as grappling in most systems. It's unnecessarily complicated in most cases, I would say.
Don't get me started as grappling. I just normally dumb it down to verse opposed strength checks.
Yeah.
With me, that's grappling. Just don't overcomplicate it.
But in Shadowrun, it's like, oh, there's someone in the top position, there's someone in the bottom position, and martial arts modify it, and you can do this action in the top position and this action in the bottom position.
Oh, and if you have like what was it, adrenal pump, you get a +2, but only in this position. It's just I hate it.
Yeah.
I'll listen to you too. My only experience with Shadowrun is video games.
I love the video games.
Yeah, the video games are fucking amazing. If you want to play Shadowrun, just go play the freaking video games.
Yeah.
Don't even bother with the tabletop.
Yeah, I would say I think Hong Kong and Dragonfall are like better gameplay wise, but still my favorite is the first one, first Shadowrun.
Yes, I like the narrative in the first one. I own all of the games, and there's some like community made campaigns which are also good. Yeah. But have any of you played Pathfinder 2nd edition?
I actually purchased the rulebook. It's the only rulebook I own physically, but I haven't had the chance to play it yet.
I was curious about it, but haven't.
I want to run it. I really want to run it because it has some really cool ideas.
I'm curious, although I haven't actually looked up the. I know that they've simplified stuff in some cases, from what I've heard.
Like grappling.
Fucking grappling. It's like people like are a fan of WWE and just include grappling in every game.
Yes, I fucking hate it. Grappling can go die in a hole.
Like
And I think that
if your game has more complicated rules for grappling than for fucking Magic, then there's something wrong with your system.
Yeah.
yeah, you got a point here. Yeah, the only I think I saw a small additional source book for second edition for additional, as I won't say races, but it's what's called Origin or something like that. I'm not sure how it's called. And one of the books, there's a very small, not even a book, like a booklet, for isekai protagonist, quote unquote race.
God damn it. Now we have to do the isekai stuff again. This time with Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Yeah. It did it. The isekai campaign we did in Dungeons and Dragons was fun.
Yes,
we haven't actually finished it.
Well, we haven't finished a lot of stuff. I remember I ran
we have 15 campaigns started and we haven't finished even one.
We have finished a few one shots.
Yeah, I think that's why I prefer running one shots with you guys, because if I try to make a campaign who played for some time, then we just got distracted and change something new, and just the current campaign gets forgotten.
Well, to be fair, I feel like a lot of campaigns, if not, I would say even most, don't get finished. I feel like most just end at some point.
Yeah, a lot of campaigns don't actually get.
Because fucking John got a baby or something, or Lucy got a fucking job and now she can't play anymore. That's how it usually ends.
Yeah, that's what we're currently experiencing with me. I'm just so overworried.
So, well, what else have we played? Well, we've played Tales of the Loop recently.
Yeah, that was
from the Loop.
It was the question.
Tales from the Loop. Yes, it's a very fun system where you play as children in a kind of 80s kids with vibes, kids with bikes, kind of Stranger Things kind of vibe game.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Yes. I think the exact wording we used, Swedish Stranger Things.
There's a chance you can play in America, but I mean, look, 90% of games that are placed in modern times are set in America. Just in Tess, I think that is the only game I ever saw where you can play in Sweden, canonically.
Well, in Shadowrun, you can play everywhere, even on the moon.
Yeah, but there are some settings that are more explored. I think Chicago is the big one, and San Francisco, Berlin also, I think.
Yeah, that's not in America though.
Yeah, I'm saying, but
Berlin, France.
But I've never seen canonically stuff for other stuff for Sweden. I never saw it a campaign. I think
there's the UK, but the UK setting is more like a survival game.
I think it's this one with the best post-apocalyptic, right?
Yeah.
Magic everywhere.
Yeah. Wild magic coked up zombies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what else we played? I've run several adventures of Conan RPG.
Oh, Conan.
Yeah. The one we played, remember?
I feel like Conan can be fun if you play up the pulp stuff a lot. But I feel like I guess if you're a fan of Conan.
Yeah, it's fun if you play it in short bursts, I think.
Yeah, that's what exactly we did. So we haven't played much of it. We've done several adventures. That's it.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not meant to be played in a one campaign. It doesn't have much content, you know.
You, there are some official
I mean,
stuff.
it doesn't
for
have
it.
much content for like long play. It has content for like short bursts.
It's like you can just homebrew stuff. That's not like many GMs, like even in D&D, just don't use official campaigns. They just write their
Yeah,
own
but
stories.
But
for
that's
like
work.
character. I mean, for
Who is time for
character.
that?
For character progression and weapons, there just isn't much stuff.
I mean, like the whole setting of like Conan is not really something that you would. You can't become a demigod. Like you can become strong,
Strong.
but
Like,
it's not D&D where it's like you can hurl a fucking meteor or something.
like the demigod Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can become Arnold Schwarzenegger in Conan.
That's a good ad pitch, actually.
Wouldn't you like a friend of like Conan or something in our setting?
I know
our
we
game?
had like prepared characters, and my character was like, I think a Conan clone or something like that.
Yeah.
He
Just
wasn't
like
called Conan, but he was like a barbarian, and he had like the
Yeah.
same look.
very stereotypical barbarian, like
Yeah.
strong X.
Mhm.
I was the skeevy thief in the night.
I think he was like a pirate.
Yeah, a
Yes.
pirate, I think was the case.
Yeah,
That was Johnny Depp.
literally. And a very sneaky one, apparently, if I recall correctly.
Yes. I was the only person who did a successful sneak roll in that game.
I think you like. I
And it
remember
happened once.
at the end of like
At the end of the
the,
adventure, yeah.
yeah, it's like it was a potential fight with a big bad. It was like you just snuck
I
up
was
from
like, nope.
and killed like a few cultists before.
Focus, yeah.
Like, what's going on here?
I feel like a big
probably the
problem
wind.
with this is
Everyone's
actually-
playing.
I think you would enjoy it a lot more if you know about Conan, like if you actually read the
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
But what kind of
Everyone-
nerd actually reads Conan?
Yeah.
Hey,
You do. We do.
I mean,
So I have
You too, Hermit? Have you read the Conan books?
I've read Conan, but when I was younger. Yeah.
like
So I don't actually remember anything from
I
it.
don't remember much, but I remember quite a lot. Like the same
I
can be said
don't
about.
remember much, but I don't remember quite a lot. Ah, yes.
Yes, I'm very coherent and rational. Thank you very much.
And this our dear viewer, and this person our dear viewers is educating the youth.
I mean, look at our youth. Why do you think they're so stupid around? That's my doing. I'm very proud. So, as I was going to say, the same can be said about like Call of Cthulhu stuff. Like, you probably get more out of the game if you know, like, if you read Lovecraft. Yeah. But I heard the opinion that actually you aren't supposed to read it or know what's going on because like, many adventures are references or like just iterations on the actual stories.
Yeah.
Or like,
But the thing is, you always know something about Lovecraft because it permeates the pop culture, I think.
Yeah, but what does a normie actually know about Lovecraft? They know there's like this big octopus called Cthulhu, and that's it.
I know a lot, even though I haven't read Lovecraft.
well,
Okay, then who is Nyarlathotep in Lovecraft?
I don't know, but I know all of the like major gods and stuff like that.
well, Nyarlathotep is one of them.
Except that one.
But yeah.
Do you know what a Shoggoth is?
The what?
A Shoggoth. Do you know what a Shoggoth is?
If I remember correctly, that's like the no, that's I don't remember. I don't remember much.
What is the what is the color from outer space?
It's a book and a movie.
So,
Quad
Nero, who's the teacher? Yes, stop quizzing him. That's my job.
That was just I was just making a point. Quod erat demonstrandum.
You quoted.
Yeah, but like, and
not like I myself know a lot about the lore.
I think we always know something about Craft just by osmosis.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like in many cases, like we just know stuff. Like, okay, if you say Cthulhu, probably like at least you get the image of big guy himself.
Yeah. But my point is, you don't actually know about the meat and potatoes. You just know about the, I guess, aesthetic of Lovecraft.
Yeah, you probably know like, oh, it's eldritch horror from space or something like that. But you wouldn't really know much, of course, if you haven't actually read the book or played the game. There are several games, not of varying quality, but yeah,
I mean, compared to Yogg-Sothoth, how much do we really know? So I've immediately got the reference.
Yeah, like, well, you've played. I've run Call of Cthulhu for you several times, and like you, most of your like knowledge on the topic was like just pop culture. So, was it really necessary for you to know the lore of that universe to enjoy it?
No, I don't think so. I think it just, if you're a fan of something, you will just enjoy it by default more.
Of course, if you are a fan of like Star Wars and you play in Star Wars RPG, of course you would enjoy it more.
But that's the thing, though. Those are normally good RPGs, like Delta Green and stuff like that. They're just good games on their own. It's just having the the brand recognition of Lovecraft and stuff like that is like the extra cherry on top.
Speaking of, do you know that there is actual like 3.5 conversion or like, version of Star Wars? Like,
I've heard about it.
There are like a number of just normal like Star Wars games.
Yeah, I remember one is like a funny dice.
Yes, the light and dark side dice. Yeah.
Never actually played it though.
Same here.
It's like even a Pokemon game, but I think I've read a lot of like criticism of that.
We have to play the Pokemon game.
I actually wouldn't mind playing Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah, damn it, if I can't have a pocket monstrosity in real life, let me at least have it in game.
Yeah, that's the thing, for example, about Pokemon. Even if like the actual rules kind of suck, it's just good because it's Pokemon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just feels good.
The power of nostalgia, I guess.
The power of animal abuse.
Yes. Peter approves.
Well, it's not just nostalgia. I mean, I still enjoy Pokemon just as it is. Even, I think, without the nostalgia added to it.
Yeah, but nostalgia plays a good role too.
Probably.
I've never played a Pokemon game. I've only watched the quote-unquote anime.
You never played a Pokemon game? Really? None?
No, I haven't. I haven't owned like a Pokemon game. I had like the what was it? Game Boy Advance and the DS, but I've never owned a Pokemon game.
I think up to like, what was it? I think 4th generation, I played all the Pokemon games, and I owned all like the handhelds for that. Not when they came out, but from like the flea market.
That's how I got my games as well.
I've played a bit of them, not much. I mostly my experience with Pokemon is like quote unquote anime and movies. That's
I
it.
mean, you don't even have to put the quotes there. It is an anime. It's just very non.
Yes. Well,
It has a target demographic. Okay.
Children?
Yes.
well.
I have a little monster in my legs right now, and she's trying to eat my legs.
Your doggo.
Yes. She's for some reason she's like trying to eat my slippers, so they're still on my feet.
Woman, pay attention to me.
Cute.
She's 7 years old. She's old. Okay. She's not a puppy anymore.
I mean, you think that, but maybe in reality,
Nah, I'm pretty sure. But yeah. So, what other games do you think are like we should try or are fun?
Let's see what else have we played recently. For example, the Bounty Hunter game. I don't remember the name anymore, but I feel like it's like a small
It's
indie
Bounty
game.
Hunter.
it's literally Bounty Hunters.
It's called
Yeah.
Bounty Hunters. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
This is fun though. It's not. It doesn't have roles, but I think it's more narrative focused, and I think that's good because
I thought
narrative
I thought you
focus
like
and no
crunchy
roles.
games.
The thing is, if you want a narrative focused game, having randomness in it, like roles and stuff like that, isn't a good idea. It can definitely ruin it. But with Bounty Hunters, it works because you don't have roles.
I think I enjoyed it, but it definitely lacks some polish, right? In my opinion.
You enjoyed it because it has no numbers.
well, very little numbers.
I liked rolling dice. You know, I
know
like fancy math rocks.
Yeah, I mean the whole system is very newbie friendly. So if you have a friend that you want to introduce in like tabletop RPGs, but you're not sure if it's like D&D is maybe it's too complicated, or even you want to introduce like RPGs for a teen or a child, that probably be the best option.
Yeah,
because
of Fate.
Fate is more, I say, it's more abstract.
Fate is more abstract. Yeah.
It's
also, Stars Without Numbers is a good choice because you have a very low amount of actual things to keep track of.
I feel though, even Rules Light System, they have like a big problem in the sense that you actually need to be somewhat competent at role playing to really enjoy them, or at least there's somebody in the group who leads like the party to role play. And I feel like something like D&D helps people to enjoy the game even if they can't role play yet, just by having some rules and some gameplay.
Yeah, but
that's the thing. We can roleplay. That's why we enjoy them.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think like a rules light system might not even be that great for a player's first game because they might have just a very bad experience.
I mean, okay, imagine so imagine yourself like if you haven't actually played any RPG at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you have, let's say, D&D 3.5 or like Pathfinder with different types of like attacks, actions.
Well, I don't even have to mention Pathfinder was my first role-playing game.
Yeah, it's like, was it easy for you to get into it to know what you're supposed to do?
No, not at all. But the problem is, I liked very much like the idea of role playing, so I did a bunch of research in my own time. I think that helped a lot. But I think also D&D 5e is a lot easier than Pathfinder.
Yes, but like the whole point of rule slide system is like if it's your first game, it doesn't need to be just your only way. Just like it's your introduction. Like you just pick up like take several like stats or like abilities and you just role play.
Yes,
like,
but imagine like what if your first game of all them was like Fate Accelerated? Would you think you would have? I think. Do you think you would have like gotten into it?
It depends on who would run it for me and what I'm actually playing.
It depends on the GM a lot.
And on GM and what I'm like.
Well, a good GM can, I think, make almost any game fun.
Yeah,
but let's say it's like an average GM, like he doesn't know all the rules. He isn't like Matt Mercer. He isn't like he's like
Matt. Like majority of people.
Yes.
Yes.
Like a decent. GM.
if you have a decent group and a decent GM, even if you are like a complete newbie, I think you can still have a lot of fun.
Yeah, but like my point is, with rule slide systems, it's just easier to start playing. Whereas like I've been a GM for new players. Literally, it's the first game ever.
Mm-hmm.
And even the D&D 5e was kind of like confusing to them. I mean, it depends from person to person, yes. And people still people read beforehand. They were trying to learn everything, but it's still pretty difficult. I think it's easier when very, very limited amount of you can do with your character, or at least in stats wise.
Yeah. The thing is,
and you just enjoy actual role play and not just number crunching. Number crunching can be fun, but for a new player, it's not the point. I think.
I think though, if I remember one of my first games. Okay, I said before that Pathfinder was my first game, but I role played I think once or twice before then without really a system, just role playing in general, with a beer and pretzels game, if you know what that means, just shooting the shit while drunk. And I feel like, if I remember correctly, there were some people who were really into role playing, and some people who just, whenever role playing came up, they just sat there and shut them off because they couldn't get into they couldn't jump over their own shadow. They were too embarrassed to say anything.
You have to also enjoy interacting with other people.
Well, that's a bit much for most, I think, gamers. I know. Let's be honest, most role players aren't the most extroverted people.
That's the thing, though. I enjoy role playing.
Me too.
I role play on other servers, and I really just enjoy it.
Yes.
And I think that's why
Hermit is the cat girl in your Discord server.
I am all of the cat girls.
And cat boys too.
No.
No, that would be gay.
But yeah, you have to have if you've never role played, or if you've never played a tabletop, you have to have a team of people who've done it and are willing to guide you through it.
A team of experts. They need to at least have a bachelor's degree in role playing. Otherwise, you won't have fun.
Yeah, but in rule slide systems, you can all be newbies and that'd be fine because you don't have that much rules to keep track of.
Well, like I said before, there needs to be, I think, at least somebody who can get the party into role playing.
Yeah, exactly. You need at least one person who can actually role play.
In my opinion, role playing is, I think, harder than learning the system. I think role playing takes a lot longer to get good at.
Or even not, it's not good at, more comfortable enough with other people to not to be embarrassed about it.
Yeah, look at me. My role playing abilities aren't even that good. I roleplay the same person all the time. Every campaign.
You're like that one actor who plays like the same guy in every movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
like half of my characters have the same archetype too. So
Yeah, I think for me too, and I think also for a lot of people, there's like some type of role like you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
But I enjoy also like taking on very different characters. Like in a vampire game, I play like a 1,000-year-old vampire boy, I think.
not 1,000. You're like, I think, few hundred at this point.
I mean, yeah, but does it really matter if you stop counting?
Yeah, and everyone's treating you like a little boy.
Yeah,
Well, that's the problem, I guess, if you look like one.
If our potential listeners like I have experience with Vampires Masquerade, is here about few 100-year-old vampire. just don't pay attention, please. We are not playing the game the quote unquote proper way. So
yes. And also,
Yeah.
I just want to say at this point that I never ever done anything sexual in any of my games. I don't really like it. Even like romance, I don't really enjoy it in my role-playing games.
It's for me. It's like go to black when in romance isn't. But yeah, even my character, like I'm pushing the bounds for myself with vampire. I normally play total assholes.
And in vampire, you play a extreme asshole.
I'm actually a good person. Kinda.
For vampire, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can't really play a good guy like if you're playing a vampire, but yeah. you can try. Yeah, definitely can try, but
yeah, I think that was the biggest criticism of a popular like actual play podcast I've read. Actually, I think they had cameras. That they played vampires, but there was one like very obvious main character in the group, and she didn't have to like do anything like vampire like. She didn't, I think, need to kill people or drink blood or. Yeah, I think she completely had like a wide morality in that game.
Yeah. I mean, don't mind me. I'm trying to my vampire's trying to be a good guy, but he's still using eugenics to make the best goose he can make.
Ah, yes, good guy.
Quote unquote good guy. Yes, I mean
he's giving all of the homeless vampires a home.
Yeah. Well, he's a Simiske, so
yeah, he's a very abnormal Simisk, though.
Horny one.
But would you say he's a good guy?
Yeah.
If he like kills people and eats people and does eugenics?
People have to die sometimes. Bad people have to die.
Question is, who is good and who is bad?
That's why I'm the judge, jury, and executioner, so no one can question me.
All right. What else? What other system are there?
Well, okay.
We played a lot. We played a lot of systems. It's just hard to remember all of them.
I actually enjoyed the one you tried to make. It was a fun system.
Yeah, I need to get into and like finish it up a little bit again.
It was quite unique. It's something I've never seen in like a system like it. In like narrative-based systems, even in D&D like systems, it was quite a unique system, and I think it has a lot of potential.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it. Things it still needs a lot of work though, and also I feel like I changed a lot of mechanics, like very from the ground up.
Yeah.
I mean that's bound to happen.
Yeah, that's totally fine. We can eventually record like our session just as a demonstration, I guess.
Yeah. Tutorial how to play the easiest system in the world. It's a 5-hour character creation.
Okay, at this point, do you guys mind taking a short break?
Yeah.
For you,
I'm actually kind of exhausted still.
Yeah,
I came out of a night shift today, so I'm like, I need sleep. So if we can end it here, I think we are at the 1 hour mark, which is like the perfect
Yeah,
podcasting.
we are like 55 minutes. That's like I think very good point.
Yeah.
so,
So
potential listeners, I hope you liked it and enjoyed our ramblings on different topics.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you enjoyed our pilot, I suppose, episode.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed me lecturing Hermit on the Cthulhu mythos. And next time...
You weren't lecturing me.
More like pop quizzing.
Pop quizzing. And next time we can talk about some other system like GURPS and the other D&D editions we haven't talked about yet, but briefly alluded to.
Yes, and hopefully have our fourth player join.
We can actually have some games video games that we've played. All of us played. We can discuss those too.
Yes.
Shadowrun.
Like Shadowrun.
Like the one I'm about to play, which is Code Vein.
Yes, Code Vein to be precise. Or for example, Final Fantasy XIV that you've played and stopped playing for whatever reason.
It's because I'm waiting for the DLC. Okay.
I got addicted to that damn game. But
yeah, it took over my life for a good like 2 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, no. And the thing is, I just don't have time to play it anymore because when I start playing it, I have to play it for hours, or I just don't get any enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, but we probably eventually discuss other stuff like video games, movies maybe, and other stuff can be interesting.
Yes.
All right, dear listeners, then until next time.
Yep.
See you on the Sanity Damage podcast.